Okay.
Okay, so the next one is The Incredible Hulk. Came out in
Yeah,
2008.
2008. This movie is so underrated. I don't understand why people sleep on Incredible Hulk. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it
Okay,
wasn't
so
Hulk,
guys,
Hulk, Hulk, Hulk.
before we continue,
Hulk, Hulk.
I'm sure you guys have got an idea of the order, right? So it's gonna be Buck first, then it's Zuko, then it's Rob, it's me, then it's Stibble. But before
Okay.
Bucks goes in, I just want to say a few things. So obviously this one came out after Iron Man 1, released in 2008, produced by Avi Arad. This is the second movie produced by Avi Arad, before his departure, I guess. So Eric Boehner didn't come back for this one. So we were not sure whether this is connected to the first movie or not. And then there's sort of like some hints that it
Well,
is
they
It's a
kind of
because
called
remix.
it.
It's a
I
soft
believe
reboot.
I believe they called it a requel,
Yeah.
what's
Because
which is
what's
just a weird word in
yeah,
what's a
they
movie.
requel?
re-explain.
A
Yeah.
reboot sequel.
Yeah.
Okay.
A soft reboot,
Mm.
basically.
Yeah,
But
that's
Yeah, it was a
hence the
soft.
whole
Yeah,
Brazil
that's the word
thing,
I was
right?
looking for.
Hence the whole
Yeah,
Brazil thing because in Hulk he ended up in Brazil.
yes, because they
yeah.
explain in like it's so funny. I had to watch a YouTube video to understand it, but they basically explain that the experiment ended up hurting is her name Jane? And
Yeah, Jane
while
Foster.
It's
Jane
yeah,
Foster.
Betsy.
Yeah.
Jane Foster, yeah, in front of Ross, who's
No,
obviously
no,
the
no, no, no,
father.
no, no, no. Betty
No,
Ross.
that's Betty Ross.
Sorry, okay, whatever. Yeah, the
Betsy.
connections
Jane
there.
is
They
Kiwakato.
re-explain it in the dialogue, so basically it is completely re-explained from the first movie. So yeah, they make
So
big
You
is
can
Hulk
changes.
connect
from
them.
is Hulk from the MCU then? The
You
first one?
can
The,
the first one you can connect
technically,
it if you want to, but
yes,
you
Yeah,
don't have
yes,
to.
right,
yes.
Mm.
right. Okay, just a few things before Buck goes in. So Edward Norton was a huge fan of the 1978 television series with Lur Ferrigno.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he really wanted to capture some of the moments from that series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Lou
Mm.
Ferrigno appears in almost every Hulk film or adaptation,
Yes,
live action.
at
He
some point.
provides the voice, or he has a cameo to a certain degree. Um, yes, we do know the story. Edward Norton was difficult to work with because he wanted to do things his own way. He has a bad tendency to do that. He's infamous for that in Hollywood. Um, this was so bad that Kevin Feige said that they will never work with him ever again. That's how bad it was. But anyway,
But I
um,
don't know, when you look at something that they are doing now, it's just like, I don't know,
And
because
you know
I
what's
feel like
funny
the,
is yeah.
I'll just finish this thought. I feel like sometimes it's like when you're a super fan, like, because the same thing is happening with Ali right now, right? I mean, it's probably not to the same extent of what would happen with Norton, but I'm just saying it's a thing where I feel like sometimes, like, these companies and producers, and like Kevin Feige, he's fallen prey to this as well. I know this is like supposed to be peak era Kevin Feige, or whatever the case is, when when there was fire underneath that hat or whatever. But like, there's this thing of where it's like we gotta dumb down the material, like we gotta make safe the material, like we can't
Mm.
push the material too much, because if you look at Incredible Hulk 2008, like, the humor in there is kind of minimal.
Mm.
Like, it's there, but it's not like, they're not trying to joke joke every 5 minutes in
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk. Like,
And
a
he was
lot of the
no,
time it's
that makes that does. But if you think about it, it does make sense because this is before Disney bought the MCU, Marvel. So this was
yeah.
still under Universal, if I remember correctly.
yeah,
Hence, it
No, no,
feels
no, yeah, yeah.
different.
yes.
No, but what I'm saying also is that when we get to Kevin Feige, I feel like there was an idea of what he thought the Hulk was supposed to be, and that's kind of what happens with the Hulk when we get to, what happens with the Avengers and everything. And I feel like Norton, if you're saying he was a fan of, like, Bigsby and all of that
Mm.
stuff, like,
Yeah,
and
Bill
also,
Bixby.
like, yeah, Bill Bixby, and also like how that stuff was kind of informed by the comics of how, he's always on the run, he's basically moving from town to town, he'll solve a problem in a town here and then move on, or whatever the case is, forever alone, and Banner and all of that stuff, which is stuff that happened in the comic books a lot. I feel like Norton was just like, you're trying to make this character a bit too goofy for what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see him as a person who's a fan of something like clashing, like just like, no, this is not who this person is. And because he couldn't compromise on that, that's probably why they kicked him out. A lot of actors do have issues. Like Benedict Cumberbatch has said that in Multiverse of Madness, there's things that he wanted for Doctor Strange as a character that they just didn't want to put in.
I was actually going to say
Yeah,
something similar. I was going to defend Edward Norton because he actually spoke about this. And he was like, no, this man brought pages of research. He came in hard on this because, and you have to remember something. Yes, Edward Norton is a notoriously difficult actor, but he is also I don't want to use the word genius, but he is actually good at what he
he
does.
is. No,
Like,
he
for
is.
example,
He's a brilliant actor. He's a brilliant
yeah.
actor.
Yeah, because you get the Gene Hackman. I don't know if you guys know this. I think I've got who talked about working with Gene Hackman, where you had to like talk to this guy like 3 times before you get even one thing going. You get that kind of difficult. And then you get like the guy from Jigsaw, the guy who plays the trap maker in Jigsaw, where
Yeah.
he's so invested in it, where he's like, the character wouldn't do this. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like you get two kinds of difficult. And I feel like Edward Norton was the good kind of difficult.
Okay, here's the thing about Edward Norton that people might not know. Edward Norton also is a writer and is a director, right? And in the past, he has done works that were so great because of his input, right? From writing and directing. So I think he believed that whatever he touches turns into gold for some reason. And I think that became a problem because you're not hired to be a director in this one. You're not hired to be a writer. You're just supposed to be the main actor here, you know.
But don't forget something. That's something that we all deal with. And I watched a video about it. I think it was today, where someone was talking. Oh, crap! Now it's lost my brain. But basically, the guy they were talking about, they're like, "But it's a comic book movie," and it's like, that's a producer talking. What do you mean? It's a comic book movie? So so dismissively. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's like that. Like for example, Batman and Robin, right? I know Joel Schumacher's not the sole one to blame, but a lot of people kept running around and saying it's a comic book movie. It's comic books. It's not a tragedy. It's comic books. And it's just like, just because it's a comic book doesn't mean that, like, the thing is with comic books is they earn their silliness. Like, you can't just get silly for the sake of being silly.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case is. And also when you're adapting stories, right? We as comic book readers, we know the silly stories. I'm not really interested in seeing the silly stories live action. I'm interested in seeing the good ones with gravitas get adapted with live action. And they exist.
Don't define us by our silly moments. Yes.
Not just that. Remember, with that movies in particular, the toy companies wanted to produce a lot of toys. So it's as if the marketing was even putting Joel Schumacher under so much pressure for him to write a specific story.
I understand, but there's stuff in that movie where it's just like, okay, I get you need to sell toys. Why am I looking at Batman's nipples?
No, I get you.
I get you, man.
I think also the problem with comics is unfortunately people think comics and they think cartoons, and so they don't think literature. They don't think Jane Austen. They don't think it's good writing. They just think it's cartoons. It's for kids. And therefore, that's why even today, these guys don't read the thing and they don't know the characters. Even like in 2024, when it has been shown that this stuff is good, it's been shown that this stuff is literature, where it's been shown that this stuff is actually tugging at the heartstrings, it's tugging at the mind strings, it's tugging at the soul strings. Even after all the evidence, people still to make an extreme example, it's like when cops see a black person, they see first a criminal before they see a human being. Just to make an extreme example. So comic books are still suffering from that thing where even today in 2024, after all the evidence has been shown that this stuff is actually pretty dope, this stuff is pretty interesting, this stuff is intellectual, this stuff has heart, this stuff has soul, all you see is it's a criminal. Oh wait, he went to Harvard and he's got a good job. He doesn't do crime. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like
No, and like the ironic thing about that is that there's cartoons that show how good this stuff is. Like Batman the animated series existed, and people still went, eh.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
also,
It's
just
still
be-
like no, it feels like one of those things. Like no matter what we do,
I was still
people
on Iron Man.
No, we're talking about how comic books are viewed in terms of they never taken seriously and forever just um it's
The
a comic
live
book.
action
It's not
adaptations
serious literature.
are not taken seriously. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's at the
Yeah,
detriment.
so
Yeah,
Can I
and
just say
which
something quickly
detriment
before
which is
Buckmaster
detrimental
comes
now
in?
to the film.
yeah.
All
Well,
right.
Like
not
you
just the
understand
film.
that
Yeah.
what's this that stupid that 50 Shades of Grey, they were more vested in making that thing good when the writing of the book was horrible. Like that's a horrible book. Like that felt like
Women still
a
need to explain that to me, how the hell they made that a phenomenon. I still don't
like
get it.
that book was horrible. The writing, I kid you not, I forced myself to read it, and I'm one of those people when I start reading something, even if it's bad,
Yeah,
I
we
will
need to
finish it.
applaud. We need to applaud Zuko. He did what no other man should ever endure.
No,
I
How?
literally, I
Zuko had
no,
to read a
I
guys. Zuko had to read a line, guys, called "It's 50 Shades of Fucked Up." What the hell does that mean?
look, I managed to get to about page 80 something, and I just couldn't anymore. I after page 20, I was like,
But
what the hell is this? It is horrible writing. Like it is
wasn't
It's
it
no.
because
still?
it was weekly format. Because basically the story of it is it. I don't know if you guys have ever written fan fiction before, but there are fan
Yeah.
fiction websites where what you do is you
Yeah,
post every week, right? And then you keep
yeah,
your
yeah.
fan base.
Oh
And what
yes.
this woman did was she was like, okay, I've done a post every week for like 100 chapters. Job's done. I'm not going to edit it again. So it became this week. So it becomes this weird disjointed thing that becomes a mess. And instead of editing it and getting it fixed, but she was too sensitive about her feelings, so she just left it as it is. And that's why the terrible book that you get is the terrible book that you get because it
Wasn't it a
wasn't made
fan
for that
Yes.
fiction
format.
of
And
Toilet?
Yo,
also that movie that book is a parody of Twilight.
Oh
Yep.
yes, I was saying of
That's
Toilet.
something that people don't know.
also Twilight, also horrible writing. Ugh,
So
you
it's
No,
think
but
a
I
like
do for my
here's the
maid?
thing: Toilet had more going on than 50 Shades of
Did you
Grey
say
ever
toilet?
had.
Yes,
oh
That
yeah.
Twilight.
works.
Oh, you missed that. Oh yeah, because
Yeah, they call it, I don't know. They call it
we are calling
Toilet.
it Toilet because that's exactly what it is. So
I do- no, I if Toilet was toilet, 50 Shades of Grey was
it was doomed from the
sewage
start.
was
It
sewage
was
water.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it was
plugged
sewage water.
toilet.
My guy, I also read that because
You
I
have to
was
flush
interested in this
toilet. You
girl.
have to flush
I was
toilet to
interested in
get
this
50
girl,
Shades of
so I
Grey.
read. I tried to read Twilight. I've actually watched. I think 3 of the 4 Twilight movies because of girls. Whoa, guys, the things we do for my maid. You
Hey,
are
Zuko,
I've
did you
done
very.
worse.
smash?
I've done worse.
Did you smash?
women.
But
This is
Okay,
why
wait,
I'm
Zuko, did you smash? After all that,
Huh?
did you smash at
Ah,
least?
no, yeah, rejolile, no, no, no.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm gonna tell you
Was it
now,
worth
okay?
it?
Oh
Was it
wow,
worth?
dude, you sound like such a Twitter bro right now. Did you
Oh my
smash?
god.
You such a Twitter bro, bro.
No,
No,
I
you
just
I'm
should
wanted
have
to
saying
know
accomplished
after
here's
stars.
all
You
that,
started a
after all
mission.
that hard work, did you get something? You know?
Yeah.
okay, hold on,
Okay, wait.
Buffett, we're going off the rails here. Hold on. All I want to
Okay.
say is this. Whenever your dude asks you to watch a superhero movie and you made him watch that,
You have
you have
no
no right to
right to say no.
complain.
Baby, I have
Danko.
after watching Twilight, you have all the rights to sit down and watch the entire Lord of the Rings from beginning to end. Like, this is written bad.
Hey,
Okay, guys, to go back to the
anyway,
first
back to the
tangent.
And
movie.
Okay, let's go
and
back to
Yeah.
how
somebody
Kai.
need to
Let's go
Kai.
back to
Can
how.
I just make one point? I just want to say, with the whole the initial tangent, basically the idea is there's a connection between a good product and toys. Because the Star Wars movies, I think we can all agree the Star Wars sequels are terrible, right?
Mhm.
And you'll notice that the
Hmm.
toys
Yes.
didn't sell. I don't know if you guys know, but the toys didn't sell at
Force
all.
Awakens was all right. The other two of them.
Yeah, but yeah, they lost billions. Those toy companies.
Rogue One kind of sort of almost saved them, but then
Yeah, and they did sell some of those toys, but you need to have momentum to get all the toy sales. And so
Yeah.
having a good story matters. So Dark Knight sold hella toys. And that wasn't supposed to be selling toys, but it did. So I just think just having a good story comes first. So these guys, these executives, we need to get rid of them somehow. But yeah, anyway,
Yes,
out of the
please.
tangent.
need to
I'm
retire.
working on it,
So
They're
guys. Give me a
85.
moment.
And also, guys,
before
you're an
Buckmaster
executive.
comes in,
You've seen the market. You've seen good
guys.
movie equals good sales. Why do you keep on saying let's make the toy first and not worry about the movie? You've seen
okay,
that a good movie equals good sales, and you keep making the
Okay.
same mistake.
all right,
You guys have
all right,
MBAs. You guys
okay,
have MBAs. You went to
okay.
Harvard and shit, but you're still doing the dumbest shit. Like I
Yo,
don't
your
even
corporate. What's
Okay.
wrong with your?
All right. Before Buckmaster comes in, I just want to finish this. So, as I've mentioned, the cast, I just forgot to mention three people. Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler is the one that plays Betty Ross. Initially, it was Jennifer Connelly, right?
the Whisperer.
Then Tim Roth comes in as Abomination.
Abomination.
And then there is William Hurt, R.I.P. He plays Thunderbolt Ross. It would have been great to see him
William
as...
Hurt wasn't. It was Sam Elliott, wasn't it?
No, Sam Elliott was in Hulk.
Oh, original. Yeah,
Yes,
OG.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's sad that we didn't see William Hurt as Red Hulk, but what can you
Yeah,
do?
that would have been amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, then the last person is Tim Blake Nelson, who plays Samuel Stans, and he's gonna reprise his role in the new Captain America as the leader. So yeah, that's the cast.
Also, the guy who played I forget his name, but he was Phil Dunphy in Modern Family. He was in this.
Oh yeah, he
Was
was
Phil
the
Dunphy
love
in
interest,
this?
no? He
Yeah,
was the
Phil
love
Dunphy.
interest.
Yeah,
Oh, I need to
secondary.
rewatch this. I need to
Someone,
watch this. I don't
Dude, it holds
remember
up.
He
him.
was also
It
in the
holds up, bro.
military. Yeah, he was also in the military. But the thing is that dude is so like in my head, he's so locked in as a comedic actor that when he's doing serious stuff, it's just like,
it's
bro,
tough.
I'm laughing at you, my guy. Like
Yeah.
you're too
I
funny.
hate that, especially when they're actually good and you get lost for a moment and you're like, wow, that was good. And then you remember it's Phil Dunphy and then you laugh. And you're like, but why am I laughing? That was actually good. I enjoyed that scene.
Okay,
No, he's a
so
great
one
actor.
last thing. Budget from between 137 to 150 million, and box office it made over 265 million.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
For the time, I think it's not bad, but
Yeah, for
I'm
the
just
time.
wondering. I'm just wondering, like
I'm
it should have
going-
done more.
I'm gonna break a couple of
No,
hearts.
don't you remember? For some reason, it just didn't hit. I do
Yeah,
not know
Yeah,
why,
I
but
don't
it
know.
just
I
Yeah,
don't know
didn't
why.
hit.
I'm not gonna lie to
Remember,
you.
even when Ed Norton, remember he had his notes and everything, and then I think they shot some of those scenes, and this is how he thought it was gonna be. And then when you watch the final thing, he was so disappointed because it didn't go the way he thought. He didn't actually even promote it. So on the promo side as well, they lost money because Ed Norton himself didn't want to promote it. He didn't even go to the premiere. I think the
Okay,
first premiere
that's
he
a
didn't
bit.
go.
But I'm saying that's a bit too dramatic.
And-
Like I get that they didn't do what you want, my guy. I really understand that, and I
And
really
Christopher
understand that
Lee
they
did the
could have
same
done
thing.
something. But like, come on.
I'm
So
gonna.
it lost
I
also.
don't know
So
if
because of
you.
the negative reviews, because of the main actor didn't like, imagine if you're gonna watch a movie, like imagine Buckmeister is
You mean
like this
Rachel
is
Zegler?
this is my webtoon, but I don't care, it sucks.
You
I'm
mean
not
the
gonna watch it.
Rachel Zegler
I'm not
effect?
gonna go check that out.
No, like I'm saying, like I would have had to swallow my pride and just be like, I gotta, because like the thing is, that's how you get a second chance. Like maybe it would have been on Incredible
Mm.
Hulk 2 if he had pushed Incredible
Mm.
Hulk. You know what I'm saying? But
I
Yeah.
just want to
Mm.
say quickly. Maybe you guys have mentioned it before. This is the one of the movies I didn't even bother watching in cinemas. I don't think I've even watched it from beginning to end. I've always cut clips in
Wow.
between here and there because.
Alexa, play a Hero
so
Falls.
far, you're not representing
Alexa,
Marvel well.
Alexa,
He's
Alexa.
he's our Simon. He's our Simon,
Alexa,
guys.
please,
Are
a
you
Hero
sure?
Falls.
Are you sure you like Marvel? What's going on?
Yo, Simon out here.
No, because look, this was in the interim phase of me trying to discover who I was. So I really didn't know where I was falling in the comic love. So I was like still experimenting in my own identity. But at the same time, it was also this movie. It made me feel compared to the first one, which was also boring, but at least I had a decent eye candy in Eric Bana. This one didn't even give me that, so I couldn't finish it.
The
Twice.
Eric Banner one? You had decent eye candy.
Eric Bana is hot.
Eric Bana's a handsome man, bro.
I-
Like,
Sure, but
Eric
the
Bana-
movie did not portray his handsomeness.
Of course it didn't. Because this is just fresh after watching Troy. So I saw plenty of eye candy from him in Troy, and it was all I needed. I was like, that
okay,
guy,
okay.
I'll
Okay,
fly
let's
to
go
Australia.
back. Let's go back to the ratings. Buck, what's your rating?
Okay, just to give you my quick thoughts on this movie, Incredible Hulk is so underrated. I think it captures the essence of the Hulk the best. I don't think Hulk has been ever distilled better in live action film than in this movie. They nerf him a lot, but they don't take away the raw essence of the Hulk, which is what makes this movie work. So you can say that it's basically maybe he's acclimatizing to his powers or whatever the case is. So he's not the Hulk in terms of strength, but in terms of savagery, he was. The car glove thing is one of the most cool but useless things that I've seen. It's so cool, but when you think about it, it's like you probably didn't need that. um, this Hulk would have definitely gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds with Thanos. He wouldn't have just taken that L and sat down.
Oh,
Oh,
the hell, no. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
that
yeah.
is true.
This Hulk, like, he would have skipped everybody on the battlefield. Where is Thanos?
No, you see, here's the thing. And
Give me Thanos.
sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say, like, here's the thing that I find that I was missing from found missing from the Hulk. That the Hulk Banner relationship was missing, you know. Puny Banner. For me, the Hulk was sort of a reference to Mr. Jekyll and Dr. Hyde.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other way around, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Whatever his name is.
Yes, Jekyll and Hyde. Yes.
Yes. Yes, there is. Sure, there's the outward facing a huge torrent of mountains, but there's also a deep mental battle between these two opposing wills trying to control this body and like trying to contain a hurricane. And I miss that part of the dialogue because it also used to speak to me, which I used to like watching in the comics, but not so much was translated and
No, I
out
mean
in the live
they do
adaptation.
some of that in the Incredible Hulk. That's what I really like. They do a separation of identity
Yes.
between the Hulk and Banner. And Banner's constantly worried about this nuke that he's got inside of him and all of that stuff. They portray that paranoia
And the nuke wants to
really
be
well.
let out. That's why he
Yeah.
hates Puny Banner.
And also, it's just like, I love how in the beginning where he was trying to tell that guy in Spanish, you won't like me when I'm angry, but it's like, you won't like me when I'm hungry?
Yeah.
And he's like, hungry? And then they piss him off, and then there's like, oh.
Oh. Angry. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah.
And also, like, you get to see, like, they include like the thunderclap, and like the way they use the thunderclap in this is really
Yeah.
cool. And the fight scenes with the Hulk are phenomenal in this. Like when he goes up against the army, when he goes up against even with Abomination, yeah, it's a lot of CGI going on, but there is, and that's the other thing. This movie has like snippets of humor, and the humor does work for me. Like there's one where Liv Tyler's getting pissed off, and Banner has to be like, "You need to calm down," and it's like, "Shh, I don't want to hear anything from you."
Excuse me?
Like that was really funny when they're trying to make out and Banner's getting excited and he's like, "Oh, damn it, Hulk, you cock blocker."
Yeah, that was a classic. The cock blocking scene was a classic. I felt his pain, dog.
Oh my gosh. And then
Hey,
also
dude.
when he falls out of the plane to transform and he's like, "Okay, come on,
Oh, shit.
come on." And then like, Hulk is inside of him. He's like, "Oh, now you want me to come out?" Like
Yeah,
Hulk
that's
was
what
in there, Hulk
that's
was
what
in
I'm
there,
missing.
like Hulk was in there like "Trololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololololol
Yeah. No, when he hits the ground, the thing that pissed him off was the pain. Like,
Yeah.
what I
guys are
don't
giving
feel
me
like
YTT
oh, what is
flashbacks.
that god awful pain in my back? Why didn't you land like that, you stupid son of a?
You guys are giving me YTT flashbacks because he did the same thing, remember?
Okay,
Any-
yeah. So
anyway.
scoring.
Yeah.
Point is, scoring for me, I'm gonna give this an 8.
All right.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
That's
Zuko.
pretty high. Okay, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the
Oh,
story.
just a side note, Tim Roth was also a great villain. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tim Roth was the ish. you saw his his maleficence.
Yeah,
Is that the word?
malevolence.
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 Yes, thank
Yeah, there we
you.
go.
Yeah, I won, but we went to nice schools.
No. That give it to
You're an
props to
AA
Rob.
one.
Rob's data battles haven't run out. Me, that got true.
And also, you understood his motivation. He was like, "Yo, bruh, I trained this hard," and then
This
some
man,
dude just gets this thing, and now
some
he's
geek,
like,
some
and some
high
geek,
school
you know?
nerd who sits in the corner and is the quiet kid at school. He's the one you're
Yeah.
supposed to be scared of now. Nah.
So you
Nah.
understand, because that's also that's ego pride thing. That's an ego pride thing. So that's why he becomes a. So his motivation to become the abomination is understandable. Um, um, and I think this movie focused more on Banner in Banner trying to tame the Hulk. Maybe that's why for Tebelo his Banner Hulk interaction was missing, because it focused more on the Banner side than on the Banner Hulk side. So maybe that's where it was also missing. But I thought it was a dope movie. I enjoyed it. I didn't understand why it got so much hate. I could understand some of the hate, but I didn't understand why it got so much hate. And I'll give it yeah, 7.8. I thought I enjoyed it.
Well,
And also the general was such an like I thoroughly enjoyed his character. He
No,
was like
William
a
Hurt was
proper
also
asshole.
really, yeah, William Hurt was also really good in this. Like, that's what I'm saying. For
Yeah.
me, like, it did the Iron Man thing without it being Iron Man.
yeah.
And
It was a
also the
different
acting
story.
was so brilliant. I think that's also another thing. The acting was good in this movie. You know, it didn't feel, in the words of that producer, it's just a comic book. It didn't feel, it felt like a good movie that happens to be based on a comic. I think that's why I enjoyed it, because the acting was good. The motivation for the characters was there. It was clear. It wasn't just, oh, I saw him once and he made me smile, and now I will risk my life for him. There was actual love story, so there was a reason she was doing all that. There was a reason he was like, okay, I'm not gonna lose control because I love you, you know.
And I mean, that's why it was kind of frustrating that they never really brought her back into the MCU. But anyway.
So I give it a solid 7.8. I
Yeah, I
think the
believe.
CGI, the CGI
score.
thing is the only reason I don't give it an 8. Okay, sorry. Next.
Yeah, I think it had some. Okay, but anyway, next.
I like the CGI. I thought it was actually. I thought the Hulk with the muscle veins is fantastic. I mean, don't get me wrong, chubby, slightly, yeah.
No,
I
there were
like the
just some
muscle Hulk.
scenes, you know, it's nitpicking. It's being a nitpicker.
No, I understand fully. I mean, the Abomination fight was okay. For me, this movie gave me a lot of emotions, but I actually think with this movie, I think what they did was one of the things that made it better than the previous Hulk movie was I think that one tried to focus so much on Banner with like his past and all this other stuff and all these flashbacks. But with the quality of actors with this one, they managed to cover all of that and then push forward with the storyline so quickly. Like you talked about how Tim Roth, who by the way, it's so funny that they got Tim Roth in because they had to work hard to explain his existence. Why is there a British guy here? Well, you see, there's a British work program. It's like it gave me Transformers flashbacks of the Romeo and Juliet law. It's like,
Oh,
yeah, the
God.
Romeo and Juliet law. It's like,
Yo. How dare you mention those words?
No, but like, here's the thing, though. At least that's like explaining Tim Roth. I get. At least, like, I can see why they felt the reason they need to. In Transformers, it's like, dog, this is a robot movie about action.
No,
Why
yeah.
would I even care?
No, they had to explain it because it's technically rape.
No, but I'm saying, why not just make them the same age?
just make her 18.
Just make her 18.
Can you-
I know.
The question
20
is,
years
who's the
old
producer
anyway.
of the movie?
Michael Bay. But the point
And
is,
what's the problem with Michael Bay?
Yeah, dog.
but my point is,
He don't care.
He likes them young.
No, he doesn't know when to stop. It's like, okay, bro, you can stop. No. Vroom, vroom. Okay.
There will be explosions in space. Ah!
But anyway, Rob, you were saying?
Point is, this movie, I feel like what it did was it had a lot of explaining to do and had a lot of weightlifting. Like, for example, you guys talked about Tim Roth's character, where he had to kind of show how he's obsessed with age and how he's trying to become youthful and all these elements that are involved with him. That were kind of only explained with not that much dialogue, but a lot of Tim Roth's acting himself.
Yes.
A lot of that was his own weightlifting. The flow of the storyline, I would argue, is a bit quick for my liking, but I actually think it's, again, with the weightlifting they're doing and the exposition they managed to push through really quickly. I really think they get a clean, smooth storyline. One day I wish we'll get a TV series about the Hulk with the whole Jacqueline Hyde thing that you mentioned, Tabelo. I really think that's something that needs to happen. I want to see the relationship between Hulk and Thing. I don't want to get like a 5-year time skip. I'm Professor Hulk now. None of that nonsense. I would love to get that one day, hopefully. But yeah, all these things come together for a solid 8 out of 10. That's my opinion.
Okay. Guys, I didn't really enjoy this movie. I don't want to lie to you guys. There are some great moments.
Who
in the
are you
movie.
people?
Yeah, what is going on?
No,
Blasphemers.
I enjoyed the Eric Boehner one. This one for me,
What?
I think I spoke to Zuko about this actually last year sometime. Norton for me, even I think I mentioned, yeah, he does look the part, he's thin and whatever, but you could tell that he was way too overconfident for this role. Sometimes I felt like I was watching Norton trying to be Banner. I didn't feel like he was Banner. So for me, his performance
broke
as
your
Banner,
imagination.
Okay.
for me, his performance as Banner, if he was way too self-conscious, like you could tell how pompous he is in the role.
Yo.
So for me, that just turned me off completely.
Well, you should use the word pompous.
Tyler was
Good use of
fine.
the word.
Tim Roth was
I don't know, Extrodin. There's been
who
comic
else is
books where
there?
I'm saying there's been comic books where Banner has been that way, and like I feel like this Banner, like he's now comfortable being on the run. Like I feel like with this Banner in the story, they tried to tell you that he's kind of been at this for years.
Yes.
So that's why for
yeah.
me, I didn't feel like he was pompous. It just felt like he
He was
knows his
experienced.
situation.
No, he's not talking about Banner. He's talking about what's his name?
Norton.
The actor.
Norton.
Norton's performance of Banner.
I'm talking about the actor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm talking about Norton. I'm not talking about Banner.
Are you saying pompous in his performance in the
Yes.
movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
have
where
to
we
watch this
disagree. But
again.
anyway,
I'm gonna have to watch it
No,
again
no,
just to.
it's okay. It's okay. We can disagree, but I'm just talking about my experience watching
Okay,
it.
cool. Go ahead.
It's not a thing. I just wanted to see I just want
so,
to see your
yeah.
perspective.
Pardon?
No. Go ahead, Chief. Floor's yours.
No, I was just saying it's not that I don't think you can have a different opinion. I'm just saying I'm trying to see your perspective. That's why I'm saying I want to rewatch it just so that I can see what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mean, look, I see it all the time with other movies and other actors as well. Sometimes the big star sometimes wants to just take over this entire production, and you see it in the performance. So for me, when I see movies like
Tom Cruise.
when I see movies like that, they just throw me off. I've seen Denzel Washington do it. I've seen all the guys that you mentioned do
Yes.
it now. So it just throws me off.
Denzel Washington beef.
So I don't
One day you're gonna
enjoy
have
the
to
movie
explain it to
anymore.
me.
I'll
What,
happily
Denzel?
sit down and give you the villain origin story. Thank you.
I'm curious.
Anyway.
Were you touched when you heard that Denzel's gonna be in Black Panther 3? Were you like, no?
For
No,
all
I wasn't.
unrelated, for
Bash
all
ain't got shit on me.
no, like Rob, the reason why I hate it is because it's such a PR move. Like they're trying to dance around the main character. That's why they went and got Denzel Washington.
And it's too late to have him in there.
And I mean,
honestly.
and
Not
what's
only
the
is it
word?
too late, it's a publicity stunt. It's just like okay, this is the black franchise. Let's get premier black actors. Who are they gonna play? Doesn't matter. Denzel's in the movie. Yeah, but T'Challa's still dead. Denzel's in the movie. Yeah, but
One
the main
Denzel,
character,
don't you?
Denzel, is in the movie. but the story doesn't make Denzel is in the movie. That's all they're
But
doing.
you see, this goes back to that toys thing that we were talking about earlier on. Instead of a toy, now it's Denzel.
Okay, but
Yeah.
You're for Rob.
Rob. What Rob? Yeah.
Like,
No
guys,
ways, Rob. No.
Marvel, make
Yo,
the
Rob,
movie
I'm
good.
to.
Everything else will flow from there. If you make the movie good, it will sell. It will sell the toys, it will sell the merchandise, it will sell the tickets, it will sell. Focus on making the movie good. Stop worrying about the extras. The extras come because
Guys,
the movie is good.
guys, you forget Marvel and them are fighting a losing war.
Okay, but anyway, I think we
It's
gotta move
because
on.
it's
Yeah,
because they
it's-
want hype over a good movie. You make a good movie, you get hype.
Yeah.
It's not like it's Ryan Gosling. I
Make it
mean,
a
it's one of the
7
best
there,
actors of our
Bob.
time.
What? Ryan Gosling cannot act to save
Okay,
his
guys,
life.
guys,
Ryan
guys.
Gosling
Okay,
That's my
acts
point. I'm saying
okay. In a
Denzel.
point of order,
Fine.
X, you were saying?
before people stop spear tackling each other over the internet.
Mortal Kombat.
I'm saying
X.
just give it a 7.
Oh, okay. I was expecting a much
7,
worse
please.
score. The way you were talking about it, I was
No, I
expecting a.
wanted to give it a 6, but I was just being lenient.
Don't be scared.
I wanna-
Don't be scared.
Ah, yeah,
I
stand
want
on
to
it.
Stand
Hal.
on
give it a
business,
Do you
six.
bro.
want? Do you want a 6 or not?
Business, buddy.
Stand on business, buddy. Don't
10
be
toes
scared.
down when they.
I give it a 6.
Eva too.
Wait a
Give it a
minute.
6.
Just because you're sitting
Give it a
down don't
six.
mean you can't stand on business.
10 toes down, buddy.
Look, okay.
Like,
For me,
guys, there's no Marvel movie, there's no MCU movie that feels like this movie ever after this movie.
Yeah,
Nah,
I agree.
there's no
That's
movie
what
that
makes
feels
it
like
And I
this
feel
special.
like it's one of their detriments.
That's what makes it
That's
so
what
good
it
because it
sucks.
was actually
It was
it
unique.
was actually good in terms of the acting and stuff.
Yeah, okay, yes.
okay. Is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, I think it's not gonna come as a surprise. Look, for me, I was gonna give it the same scoring as Iron Man.
So you also want to say 6?
No, he
No,
wants it lower. Come on.
I could have cut it lower, but let's think. There are a few decent features about this movie. Any movie that has Aaron in it is going to be somewhat entertaining. I mean, I've watched that stupid movie about a rock coming to hit us from outer space with Bruce Willis because of Aaron and Donnie Yen. So, what else it called
I
again?
agree.
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
Yeah, God, that
Armageddon.
movie.
That is one of my favorite horrible, terrible movies ever.
And it had Ben Affleck when I had the biggest crush on Ben Affleck at the time. And it still didn't save that movie. It's like, what the hell?
Ew, you say.
No, that's that movie where you objectively it's bad, but you don't care because it's enjoyable as fuck.
It's so campy.
It's so
And-
enjoyable, bro. I
and-
can watch
and-
it again.
and
I've
it's-
probably watched that movie more than 10 times. Every time it plays on ETV, I'm there. Boom.
It's the same as that terrible movie about going to the center of the earth core. What was up with the late 2000s and movies about the end of the world? Oh,
It hasn't stopped.
guys-
2012.
Why
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I just caught
Remember
myself like,
movies?
oh, crap.
Movies come out in
2012,
themes.
Y2K. Yeah.
If you pay attention, movies come out in themes. So if one movie makes a hit, that's why if a horror makes a hit, there'll be a bunch of horrors. If rom-coms are making hits, there'll be a bunch of rom-coms.
That's why
If
after
an
the
action
MCU, we had like so many cinematic universes where it was like, guys,
Yeah.
stop it.
Yeah, but also don't
The
forget.
reason the Fast and the Furious could get a cinematic is because of the MCU because it was so good, and
Yeah,
then they build up on that, and then because it already had a good solid audience for it.
Okay, but
So-
Mhm.
No, I'm done.
Okay,
So
I was
now,
gonna say, but don't forget there's cultural themes as well. There's also, like, for example, I think we've discussed this. I think Kutsu knows what I'm gonna say. But there's also times when the culture wants to, what's the word? When the culture,
Hyperfixate.
yeah, they fixate on something. Like, for example, there was a recent spate now when the Equalizer,
David-
John Wick, where where dad films were really important. Do you know what I mean? And then,
Yeah.
of course, Dirty Harry, the 1970s when the U.S. crime wave
Yeah,
was at its
yeah.
highest, with Dirty Harry, is it Death Wish? Yes, Death Wish.
Death Wish, thank you.
Yeah, and all those movies came. Do you know what I mean? There's also times when the culture is feeling a certain way, and I really do think at that time, wasn't that the time that Super Size Me and like all these other things were happening at that same time? Do you know what I mean? I think it was after Y2K, but there was other stuff that was happening at when was that? 2008, 2006? When was Armageddon? Does anyone know?
No idea.
Because remember, it was Armageddon. It was it Point Break? Not Point Break. It was something with Morgan Freeman.
Break.
It was Morgan Freeman. Where the also comics as well coming.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman and Bobo.
I'm looking it up now. 1998.
Wait.
Armageddon came out in 1998.
Oh my
God.
Oh my God!
98.
Okay, guys. Kai.
Okay,
Great cinema talk. Develo, you need to rate Incredible Hulk, please.
Okay, yeah, sure. Hey, Shim. Shout out to Buckmaster being the youngest yet being the most mature of the whole group. He's like the adult of the keeping us in line. I'm gonna give it a.
I wanted to stop you guys a long time ago because I wanted to tell you guys we're only on our second film and it's almost like 2 hours in.
I want to give it a 6.5 because, like I said, I couldn't finish this entire movie. There wasn't decent enough eye candy for me to pay attention to the movie from beginning to end. I don't care how British this guy was. He wasn't doing it for me. And
yeah, Develo, you've been rating movies by how attractive the people are in the movies. What about the plot points? The plot points, the themes, eye candy.
Develo was like, fuck plot, fuck everything.
Who
farms?
Who's going to be my imaginary?
You was like, fuck the message, fuck the music score.
Who shall be my imaginary lover after this movie?
Yeah, I'm saying, who is Zaddy? That is Develo's rating system.
I was like, there's no.
I'm actually scared for what Develo's gonna say about Iron Man 2.
The only thing left for Develo to do now is just to release the Tri-Beam with those many apps. But anyway, okay, so